Good morning, fellow wet shavers. Welcome to the Wet Shave Experience. I'm your host, Brian. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. It's the day after the election, still undecided, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, today continues Tribute Week. This is Tribute Week shave number 3. When I was trying to figure out who I was going to do tributes to, it was a little tough to figure out or narrow it down to just a handful, or depending on how many shaves you're going to do, 5, 6 people. I've had a lot of really good interactions within the community with both artisans, YouTubers, fellow Instagram posters, Facebook, etc. So it was tough to narrow down. But today, my tribute shave is not necessarily product based, but an Instagram person that I've kind of befriended, I would say. Josh, who goes by FlashGross82 on Instagram, was someone that I started communicating with early in my wet shaving, especially when I was trying to discover scents and figure out what's going on the camera, some weird lighting I can see. Trying to figure out what I liked, what I didn't like, what worked for me, what didn't. We had gone back and forth a number of times, bouncing off scents and ideas, and he had been doing this longer than I have. And he was just really helpful and giving me some advice and some tips and some directions to go, some soaps to try. And he even, at one point, sent me some samples, just of his own doing. I didn't ask, but he was kind enough to send me like a Sterling Gin and Tonic sample, which I still have some. He sent me, I think, a Lather Brothers No Problema, which I'm glad he did, because that wasn't for me. That was way too florally. And then actually, I almost forgot about this, but a Moon Soaps Havana sample as well. And that's a really great scent as well. And then for today's video, he kind of inspired me to buy my first Declaration grooming product. And I ended up with Massacre of the Innocents. And so that's what I'll be using today, along with the matching splash. And so I will be starting with my Perossa pre-shave. For razor today, I'm going to be using this Gillette King C Gillette razor. I picked this up at my local Walgreens, of all places. And so it's kind of got a longer handle, definitely than you can see than the Mercur. And so I thought I'd just switch it up, do something a little different. I'm using the Perma-Sharp blade again in this because I haven't used it in this razor yet. And then I've got my PAA Aerolite, Amber Aerolite brush and my bowl all lathered up and ready to go. So let's get started. All right, wet the face. You see I left my Lancaster Razor Works towel hanging back there next to my son's shark towel. They like to take a bath in our bathroom. We got a bigger bathtub. All right, I'll put that in there. See if I can grab it. All right, got it. So scent notes on this, I'm sure there's been plenty of videos to be done, and this isn't necessarily a soap focused video as much as a tribute video, but since I have it, I might as well talk about it. Top notes on the scent are cinnamon and pepperwood at the heart, osmanthus, tobacco leaf, labdamen, and incense, and the base is vanilla, cedar, vetiver, patchouli, iso E super, cypriol, and musk. So definitely has the vanilla in it, has the oxidized dark color in there. I definitely pick up some cinnamon. It's not too much cinnamon. I'll be honest, I don't like cinnamon, but it is pretty mellow in this soap. I definitely pick up the tobacco in there, the vanilla. I don't get the patchouli, so if you're not a patchouli lover, it's way in the backbone or back base of this. I can't pick up the patchouli because I don't like patchouli. I live in Eugene, Oregon. We are the Berkeley of the Northwest. I smell plenty of patchouli. I don't smell patchouli in this, all right? Maybe a little bit of the musk. I don't get a lot of the vetiver in the scent, but anyways, definitely the cinnamon and pepperwood on the top and the vanilla musk. A little bit of cedar maybe in the background and the base. These do now come, have the matching splash, they do now come with their own bottle of menthol. It's a synthetic menthol. He stopped putting it in and just is sending the menthol with the splash. So it's up to you whether you put it in or not. I don't love menthol. I like it sometimes, but not all the time. And I figured, I just like to use it without. The bottle is meant to be, the whole bottle is meant to be put into the bottle of splash. It's not meant to be used like individually. Apparently it's very, very potent, so you don't want to just put drops of this on your skin or anything like that. So on the King C, you can see the one thing I don't love is that the knurling stops right here, and then the rest of this is smooth. And it's not the best knurling that I've seen in any razors or so. With that, let's get started. Anyways, just thought I'd throw a shout out to Josh. Like I said, was super helpful in the beginning, and him and I still communicate back and forth on different things. And somebody that I just kind of found early in my wet shaving days and have stayed in contact with. He does post some pretty cool shaves of the day. He's kind of into some more of the old school soaps. You can see the vanilla in this has oxidized, and so I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but this lather color is a little off-white, which doesn't affect performance of the lather quality or anything like that. Just what vanilla does over time. It oxidizes and turns brown. So any soap you have with vanilla in it is going to get some level of brown at some point, and depends on how much vanilla is in there. At first, when I pulled the soap, I was like, why is this brown? Why do I have a brown soap? Did a little research, found out it's the vanilla. All right, let's get started. We'll see how this PermaSharp blade does. You can see one of the things with this Gillette, King C Gillette, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's got a little engraving on the top with the King C Gillette etched kind of in the top cap there, which is kind of cool. This is an inexpensive purchase. I think these came out not that long ago, really, as Gillette, and I'm not sure where it's made. I didn't do the research on that. But pretty smooth. I would say it's, in terms of aggressiveness, it's or anything, I would say it's probably a mild blade or a mild razor. And PermaSharp blade is doing just fine in it. The handle is a little long. I don't know if it's actually even a little longer than my carve handle, which is longer than the recur handle. But I think I got this for like $29.99, and we don't have any sales tax here in Oregon, so when it's $29.99, it's $29.99. It's a pretty nice little razor. It's definitely worth the pickup, I think. For $29.99, you can't go wrong. All right, with the green here. Yeah, that's one thing I find about this community that's really great. There's a lot of people that are kind of got a little thin on the lather today. I was a little stingy on the soap. I definitely need to get the volume I usually get, so I don't know. This is only the second time I've used this actually, so, or even a Declaration product or the Milk Steak Base. The Milk Steak Base is definitely one of the bases out there that gets a lot of mention when you talk about top bases. It's always interesting when somebody posts on Facebook, one of those posts, what's the best base? And then you get all the opinions coming out, which is great because that's what makes this community go around. I mean, we all have our own subjective opinions. But this base gets thrown around, not thrown around, but touted out there quite a bit. And I think it's quite a good base, and I think it's definitely worthy of that recommendation. I'm very glad I tried it. I know a lot of people like the Massacre of the Innocent scents. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little on the fence as my second use, and I don't think that this is a keeper for me. I think it's just a little too much cinnamon. I don't know if you heard me talk in some of my other videos about scents. I mean, you gotta find your scent profile. You gotta find what works, and you gotta try new things, because you never know. I remember I almost didn't try Strike Gold's Honest Abe because it listed patchouli, and I'm like, oh, I do not like patchouli at all. But I took a chance on it, and it's definitely one of the favorite, if not a favorite scent in my den, and I can't smell the patchouli at all. So same with this, list patchouli, but way in the backbone. But this is well blended, but I think I still am picking up too much of the cinnamon. I like the leather that I get out of it and the vanilla, but I think the cinnamon's just, it's not a huge punch of cinnamon. It still might be a little too much for me. I don't know, it's an interesting scent for sure. I think where I'm at with this is I don't dislike it, but I don't love it either. I would say this King C, despite the knurling, and I haven't had any slippage issues with it during the shave so far. Yeah, I'm running out of lather here, but this soap is pretty slick. I don't think this is necessarily a high volume lather producing soap. It's a very soft soap. It's almost like a crope. Comes out of the tub real easy, very malleable. I'll have to double check pronunciation on that one. I don't want to misspeak. but I don't really think this is produces a high amount and high volume of lather. It's definitely slick enough to shave. So if you haven't tried the Milk Steak base, I mean, this is a little spendier soap as well. It's not grooming depth or holy cow, cereal base expensive, but it's kind of, I don't know, I think around 20 bucks seems to be what a lot of the soaps out there are right now. This one's slightly north of that, so you're paying more than $5 an ounce. You are getting a lot of high quality ingredients. So if you haven't tried it and that's within your budget and your means and you desire to do so, I do recommend trying the base. If you like a little bit of cinnamon and vanilla mixed with some leather, this scent might be up your alley. I would say it's probably not the most efficient razor I have for sure. I feel like on the third pass, I'm still getting a lot of unfinished business from the first two passes. I'm gonna check my nostril area. I hear my son, he's up again. Not quite as early as the last 2 days. So maybe he's finally settling in. I'm waiting for him to burst in at any moment. Sorry guys, bear with me. There we go. Oh, one spot right there. All right. And then clean up on the neck here. Anyways, this razor's not a bad little pickup. All right, let's finish up. Bunch right there. So anyways, big shout out and thank you to Josh. Really appreciate it. Oh, there he is. I knew I wasn't gonna make it to the end.
Daddy.
What's up, buddy?
Probably eating the candy in her drawer on the dresser.
She ate all the candy in the drawer in her dresser?
Yeah.
That's not good, is it? My 5-year-old's taking hiding candy in her way.
And I wanted to eat.
Okay, well, we'll have to.
Where's my shaver?
Your shaver, I don't
It's
know.
right there.
Oh yeah, right here, buddy.
And you shaver too.
Okay. All right, folks, I'm gonna finish up with a splash. I almost made it, guys. One of these mornings, I either gotta start getting up earlier or he's gotta start sleeping in a little bit more. Very nice feel to the splash. A little less of the cinnamon, I think, in the splash, but I still get the cinnamon. Overall, in terms of how the soap quality was and the base was, great product that from that standpoint. I think just a slight miss for me
What
on the
is
scent
this, Daddy?
with the cinnamon.
What is this?
That's aftershave, buddy.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you. Stay safe out there. Hopefully our country keeps it all together regardless of the results of election today. Thanks and have a great day, guys. Bye.